Hello, welcome back to our Windows Server 2016 course. What's new? So just quick recap to our agenda. Course module. So far we have managed to cover the first two parts, introduction, and then platform vision. We went through all the high level improvement, and then we will walk through the rest and a bit deep dive into the rest of the topics. For today, we will cover the management side of Windows Server 2016 and the improvement around that. With management and automation, we have PowerShell 5.1, which is including update to the DSC desired state configuration. With PowerShell 5.1, we will cover all the new improvement, and then we will cover the tool and automation around server management tool, and the one in particular will be the one hosted in Azure. Then new improvement around the console and a little bit around Azure Stack, and the last part will be around operation management suite. So the first part is around PowerShell. PowerShell, if you are not up to speed with PowerShell, then I will recommend basically to start reading, improving, your skill around PowerShell. PowerShell 5.1 or nearly 5.2 now include new features that extend its use to improve usability and control and management of the Windows OS. There are some nice improvements around ISE. And if you are not, as I mentioned earlier, if you are not familiar with PowerShell, then I would recommend to start with ISE, because with ISE at least it's a Go based. If you are from a DevOps background or scripting, then that should be really useful, because you can color code the script, debugging, other area of its improvement, which is around basically pre-compiling before running or committing any script. Now, as you are aware, PowerShell evolved from a couple of hundred, CMDlet into 100,000 per module. So it is the way forward, not only with Microsoft products, but with other products. Now, with PowerShell 5.1, it is compatible, backwards compatible, all the way back to early release or version 2 engine. And then the new improvement around PowerShell is being able to run it as a debugging tool, similar to what we do with other debugging tools like Wireshark or Microsoft Message Analyzer or Microsoft Network Capture or ETL, ECW or other tool. Now with desired state configuration, the new improvement around automation, if you are not familiar with desired state configuration, Microsoft introduced it first for the Azure basically benefits, but then later on, they changed their vision, and they allow us to utilize this tool and utility on premise. When you can install this tool with web services and start like automation utilizing PowerShell around your environment, similar to other tools like Puppet and other release management tools as well. Yeah, also Microsoft improved PowerShell being able to do PowerShell Direct, and we'll cover that one later on at later stages for RDS or Hyper-V, which means being able to interrogate the hardware by passing the hypervisor as well. It's quite powerful, but at the same time, so we have to make sure we secure and apply all the best practices around this area. This is around management and automation. Now, next is the server management tool. This tool is hosted in Azure. It can be used to manage on-premise infrastructure alongside Azure resource from anywhere. Gateway Server acts as a proxy between Azure portal and on-premise resource. It allows us to view and change system configuration, view performance across various resources, and manage processes and services. It allows us to manage device attached to the server, event logs, and any list of installed roles and features, plus using PowerShell to manage the automation. This is quite useful. Maybe I mean the vision around controlling the machines. Even Microsoft highlighted that one on their websites. Be supposed to install core-based, server and being able to utilize, a jump server or terminal server with the Rust tool, and you control other from parameter network or internal network depending on your deployment. For VMs with public cloud, then you will need to use private or parameter network to host that private server with a jump or the right tools, Rust tools or other tools to control it. And bear in mind this will be protected, secured by two firewalls, lower firewall, upper firewall, with the right policy to make sure security-wise you are not compromised. Next is the screen shot of how the server management tool will look like. There's the service SMT. It's a web-based management shell hosted in Azure, and you can basically do everything what we just highlighted earlier. And this is just like a screenshot to show you what you can do with it. A dashboard based on Power BI with event viewer and list of friendly messages around it. You can export, import as well. And the back end of this is a SQL analytical tool. I will say it's quite good tool, similar to OMS. We'll cover OMS later on. But again, if you are paying Microsoft, then it will make sense to utilize this tool. Next is the console host improvement. With the console host improvement, there are some nice improvement around being able to, the updates to include several new editing and marking behavior, being able to resize console window by grabbing the edge of the mouse with the mouse and drag it and drop. It's supporting word wrapping, being able to change the transparency in case if you run like a script behind, and you can see what's going on. Being able to copy and paste without hitting the status bar. Also control new feature through reg settings. Next is the Azure Stack management. Again, similar to, we covered that one in part 2. Microsoft Azure Stack portal, which consists of consistent with the Azure portal, is a web-based that will help us to admin our tenants via role-based access control and control the resource and the cloud capacity and applications, and allow us to as well prepare pre-provision prior to the move. Again, this is not a free, there is a charge associated with this. The last part of management is the OMS, Operation Management Suite. Operations Management Suite is a separate product in the cloud which can monitor both on-premise and Azure environment, and can be basically connected to your SCOM if you go SCOM on-premise. It's a free trial, it can be utilized, and with all these tools you need to always check Microsoft basically roadmaps. This OMS, it gain immediate insight across the workload, it enables consistent control and compliance, it allows you to respond faster to security threat, also ensure availability of applications around and data. It's simple, automate, and you can see the good thing about that tool. It runs something called RAS reporting assessments, or run an assessment for your tools, either SQL, AD, Exchange, depending what you are monitoring, and then you can get the best practices similar to Microsoft RAS reports, which will highlight any non-best practices or area which require improvement. I would recommend this tool. It is really great if you are paying for it. And again, on the roadmap, it seems like you do get like a not only free trial, free version of it. So again, with all of these tools we mentioned earlier, you need to double check either with Microsoft or with your LAR, or check through the subscription. If you require then the monitoring tools, then this is the right tool. It is, in my opinion, similar or even better than SolarWind, and give you the option to control dependency as well as the services, and being able to export, import as well if required, or attach it to other tools or APIs. This is what I had for you for today. A quick recap for part 3. We went through the management and automation, what tool we can use, what improvement Microsoft added to the management of Server 2016, and we highlighted 2 of these management tools, and they are cloud-based tools, the OMS, or 3 basically, not only 2. So OMS, Operation Management Suite, and we mentioned Azure Stack, and then we mentioned the SMT, SMAT, and the server management, and we mentioned as well as the best practices around that server management tool, being sitting in a DMZ to control cloud and on-premise VMs. Also, we covered some new improvement around the console, and PowerShell, and the management automation around desired state configuration, or PowerShell Direct, or the new PowerShell debugging, which means you can switch on to produce the issue, switch off to analyze and address the issue. That's all what I had for you for today. Hopefully you learned something useful, and I shall see you at the next part, and which will cover more around compute and other side of the Server 2016 improvement.